Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Pete. We back with a crazy edition right now for PM Lifestyle Podcast. This just in about some information, man, that Agent Orange just put out there. So, for all y'all that really don't like him right now, you might end up liking him for this one, especially you felons. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a felon doing stuff for felons right now. So, apparently, he has signed an executive order to restore your gun rights. So for all those people that have been asking me, of course, because I'm a licensed firearm instructor in the state of Texas, a lot of people have been asking me how to get your gun rights restored as a felon. What's the procedure? What's needed? What can they do? How long has it been since they committed their crime and all, whatever their offense, their offense is, whatever the case may be. They always ask the questions, you know what I mean? I can't magically do nothing for you, you know what I mean? For me to deal with you, you have to be clean. You have to have had a clean record and pass background checks, do your fingerprints and all that, and then go through the procedures of taking the courses and doing different things like that. So the moment they call in and they ask me, and I always ask them like, well, do you have a clean background? Can you go purchase a gun outside or inside of a gun store? So I always get the answer no, because they don't currently own. So this is gonna be a crazy situation to help a lot of people get their gun rights restored. So the reason he's doing it, I don't know, but apparently he's gonna help a lot of you guys out. So there are different situations and occasions where a lot of people might have committed an offense when they were younger. And of course, as you grow older, you get older, you change your ways, you grow up a little bit, you might have had some problems when you were a youth or just got that one situation to where you got in trouble. You know what I mean? And ever since then, you've been a model citizen. You know what I'm saying? So the DOJ has issued an interim rule that could create a pathway for individuals with criminal convictions to restore their gun rights. It's been blocked by the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco Firearms, basically the ATF, since 1992. And they started doing a lot of different background checks and it will not background checks, but they were fighting back and forth to who can approve this. So right now, federal law prohibits any individual felony convictions from possessing firearms. So here in Texas, you basically have the castle law. What you can do is, if you've been off of probation and free from being in trouble or adult supervision, whatever the case may be, you can protect yourself by having a gun in the home, but you can't bring it outside the home. So the castle law allows you to protect your family, your household, where you dwell. It also extends to your vehicle. So basically, if you're out and about, you can protect yourself because that is kind of considered your castle. But there's loopholes in that because local laws might be okay with it, and it really depends on what cop will pull you over to where you might have this problem. Somebody might not be like, nah, you're a felon. I pulled it up, and you're not supposed to possess a firearm. So it's one of those iffy things, and it's especially if you have your freedom, man, and you kind of know it in the back of your mind that you've had some run-ins with the police and you've served some time. You don't want to take that chance by carrying a firearm and then they pulling some okie doke on you. You know what I mean? It can be a real crazy experience. You're losing a lot of things that you gain, and like we like to say from the streets to the suites. So if you're taking care of your business and all of a sudden you get caught up in this loophole, it's definitely something that you don't want to be dealing with later on in life. So right now, in Texas, I know that you definitely can possess it in your home to protect your dwelling, which is the castle law. You have to be off of probation. I think maybe parole or probation for maybe a year, 2 years. You can protect your household and your family. So right now, the executive order has been written, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. So under Texas law, felons may legally possess a firearm in their residence. And they're saying 5 years, but I'm hearing 2 years. I've been hearing a lot of things. So the best thing to do is check with your local authorities and see how this works. A lot of people were looking to get expungements, and get it taken off. And they would ask you like, what's the process? So I know definitely that you have to have a abstract. Go downtown to your court, wherever you got in trouble at. Get an abstract. See what the deposition of the case is. What you were convicted of. How did you end up in your probation? Was it written off? Whatever. Because most times you would have to go get an attorney to help you with the process to get this expungement going or erase your felonies. And what they normally do is just basically make it seem like when they pull up your records in the streets or on, in a squad car, as if you've never been in trouble. It doesn't hide from like federal searches, but it will hide from background checks and things like that. So you pay anything from 500, 800 to maybe highest I've heard was maybe like 2 to 3,000. Depends on the attorney that you hired for the case, right? So after you go get your paperwork, they're gonna charge you for that little abstract too, or whatever the paperwork is. It's gonna be basically everything that happened in the case, and on the very last page, I don't know how crazy you were and what kind of charges you hit, but they're gonna be looking like, okay, let me just look at the main part of the charge, right? So this is gonna go for non-violent offenses. Let me say again, non-violent offenses. So if you beat your wife, no. If you done hung your grandmother in the back upside down from a tree and used her as a punching bag, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? If you done beat up a couple of people and it's like stole a car or whatever, a stolen car would be okay. But anytime you can put your hands on somebody, nah. If you done rob somebody, no go. You know what I'm saying? If you're selling drugs and then you went out there on a high speed chase and busting at the police out of your SRT Dodge Charger, no go. Because y'all be asking some crazy questions when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? So these are for people that might have had like a petty theft. You know what I'm saying? You probably, and I don't even know if it's with child support. And I can't even think of other crimes that's like lightweight, but you know what you've done. You know what I'm saying? So any violent offenders, cut it out. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And if you have multiple cases, it ain't gonna happen. This is gonna be for the lightweight stuff like that, blue collar crimes. You know what I mean? And that's basically even with the blue collar crimes. When you had a felony, it was easier to get your gun rights restored with blue collar crimes than it was, regular just crimes. You know what I'm saying? So when I say blue collar, that's when you didn't electronically rob somebody or hit a lick or did some top dollar stuff. So look it up. But right now, you do have a chance to restore your gun rights, and Trump has done it for you. So he's doing a lot of crazy things to people, tariffs and different things like that. But he's a felon himself with 35 of them joints. So I guess he's looking out for his people. My thing about this, I'm thinking he's really doing it because just in case it hit the fan, you know what I'm saying? All the people that are pro-Trump can arm themselves. You know what I'm saying? So there are loopholes about getting firearms and things like that. So here in the state of Texas, you can go to a gun show, right? Pay to get in, and you can be a felon. And the loophole is that they allow some people to sell private, guns from private sales. You know what I'm saying? So you can actually buy these, and it doesn't require them to do a background check. It doesn't require them to, log that information. They'll sign a bill of sale, and then you're able to walk up out of there with the firearm without even having an extensive background check. So you're not getting a new one. You're not getting something that never had rounds go through it, but you will walk out of there with a firearm. Now, the chance that you take doing that, you walk in there, you don't know if this person is a legit person that's selling privately, or this person is like an undercover cop, and you walk out of there and you might get some cuffs thrown on you. So that's that loophole. You take your chances. You rolling that dice, you playing that dice game. You don't know what you're gonna do or what you're gonna get. So you might crap out, or you might hit 7-11. So it's a chance you take. But right now, I don't know when this law is gonna go into effect, but they're definitely considering it to have it to where felons can own guns. Now, what states? I don't know what states. I don't know if it's going to be certain states, because California has a real strict law. Even with my license, they won't even allow me to go in California. And That's the only thing I was hoping that Agent Orange did for me. Well, I ain't gonna say for me, but for the people that voted for him, was to allow your Second Amendment rights to be carried out throughout the United States. And right now, he hasn't done that. He's been doing lollygagging at the concession stand, doing everything except the one thing I was requesting him from to do. So, like Illinois, California, and different places won't allow even licensed gun owners to permit them to carry in there unless you're from that state and you go through their process of, owning a firearm. So your address must be linked, your ID must be linked to an address to even go out there and try to go through the process. You must be seen as a resident, sign up with I think it's the sheriff's department, and then you do the waiting period, you get online or you get in line to actually have this done for you. You take the classes and you do all this stuff like that. And even possessing or carrying a firearm is a little bit different because the way they do it is, to me, it's like a loophole. It's like a catch-22, right? Some places they say that, and you can't carry openly with residencies over 20,000, 25,000 people. I know a lot of people out there that have their gun license, or I think they call it concealed carry license in Los Angeles, right? But it's a lot of loopholes that you have to go through, you know what I mean? Or it's like catch. So like, even if you're transporting your firearm, you can carry it in the car in Los Angeles, but you got to have the magazine in the glove compartment, the firearm in the trunk. So if you do get into a situation, it's premeditation either way it goes. Because the moment that something happens and you go, get that magazine out of the glove compartment and then you jump out and go to the trunk and get it and then begin to use that firearm, it's premeditation. Because all that time they consider you able to had the ability to have called the police at that time or just keep on driving. So you got to be careful if you're a Los Angeles resident, man. Always think of that. Consider that it is a catch-22 because it's always going to end up into a state of premeditation. Out here, Florida and different other places, you got to stand your ground. So you don't have to retreat. You can carry it on you. You know what I mean? It's a constitutional carry out here. All the way from here, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, different places like that. You can actually, I think even Louisiana and few more places, you can actually carry that firearm on you. And, you don't have to retreat. But it does have to be, your life had to be in grave danger. You can't just be like, oh, he popping off at the mouth or saying something crazy and then you pull that firearm. That's going to be assault. So if it's in a case to where, even where you with your chick and you at the movie theater and there's three young dudes going, hollering at your chick or whistling at her, whatever the case may be, and one of them approach you, you still can't pull out your firearm at that moment. It has to be a threat on your life in order to use that weapon and even pull it out. So if it's two guys out there, three guys, or even one guy, and he approaches you and he just punches you in the mouth, well, you got to punch him back. That's what the law states. You cannot pull out your firearm. I've seen it at the Dallas Zoo though. This guy, old school, we said decked this dude right there by the monkeys and the gorillas and everything. Even the monkeys, they was even tripping off the dude. But he pulled his firearm out and he, brandished his weapon and told him, hey, step back. I think he put his hand out and was telling him, chill. The families were looking, the animals was looking and everything, but he walked away with it because they said the guy was at fault. But also, it was one of the situations. That boy had the complexion for the connection. So I don't know if that's going to work out for any other skin tones. You might want to check and see. But for the most part, you do have to be in grave danger. So I always suggest, man, check your local laws. You know what I'm saying? Because every place is different. Even when you fly from here to other states, you got to check the reciprocation map and make sure that whatever happens in your home state can fly out there in the place that you're going. You know what I mean? So always look into getting a license too, because just because it's constitutional carry out here, sometimes they might not have the same laws in different states. Even though you might have to be required to be a resident in certain areas, certain states, and certain things like that. But in Texas, if you have a license to carry, which we call an LTC, you're able to, whatever that state allows you to do that you're flying into, they will allow it because they allow it in Texas, and they have an unilateral agreement to allow whatever happens here to happen there. So check your laws, and that's the benefit of having a license to carry, is for the simple fact that you're able to do that. So just imagine if you're flying to a different state and it's kind of sketchy areas that you might be going to, or you're carrying a large sum of money, or you have product, you have jewelry, you have different things like that, or you just the most expensive thing is your family. You know what I mean? You want to protect them when you land out there. Go ahead and get you a, go to take the course, man. Get you a license and get licensed to carry. Even though it's constitutional carry, you don't have the training. You don't have the ability to understand the signage and the different things that you might encounter when you're going to different states, and even locally they set up these laws, man, to where if it's constitutional carry, they've made a 30-5 sign. A lot of people just be like, okay, let me go get a firearm, not knowing that the number one law or the rule for even having a firearm is to have a holster. It must be holstered. So all you waistband carriers are just throwing it in your pocket, throwing it in the glove compartment, putting it under the seat, that ain't gonna fly. And you can get out there talking all that big talk, but guess what's gonna happen? That police officer is going to be able to identify that you do not or have not did any classes, no knowledge of what's going on. He's going to ask you to exit the vehicle, and he's going to probably put those cuffs on you because you don't know the laws. You don't understand the signage. You know what I mean? From your 51% signs. It's a lot of signs that are put in business locations, bars, even at the storefronts. There's like a lot of signage that you have to be aware of when you do take the class, and it gives you the knowledge on what you can and cannot do. Even if it's constitutional carry, some stores like Sprouts, I think Sprouts and different, they have a map to where they tell you even license holders, 30-7, you cannot even, or 30-6, unlicensed or licensed, that you can or cannot bring this firearm into the store. And even with the 30-5 sign, which is the one that allows you to constitutional carry, they'll tell you can't even constitutional carry in this store. So take the class, man. It's very beneficial to you. It's a lot of knowledge and stuff that you can learn about paying attention, different things like that help you out on your journey when you're out here carrying a firearm. Plus, the training and going to the the gun range to qualify. The scariest thing is if you live in an apartment complex and somebody says, "Okay, I'm able to just go carry a firearm," right? And they get this gun, they've never touched one in their life. They don't know how to load the magazine. They bought a 9mm, but they putting 380 rounds into the shell. They're trying to put a 4.5 or a 40 cal ammunition into the magazine and then try to chamber this. It's a lot of different things that can happen. You know what I mean? It can explode. You can put them in backwards. That won't cause explosion, but I'm just saying the training alone will allow you to understand the basic handling of this firearm, and it'll help you along your way, especially if you need to use it for a self-defense incident. You don't want to pull it out and then you've never fired this weapon, never handled it, and you don't even know how to fire it. Or at that moment when you chamber around, it's got the wrong round in there and it blows up on you. You know what I'm saying? You don't do nothing but blow your face off, and it makes it easier for them to come take what they need to take. So take the class, sign up. I'll offer the class. Tap in with me, hit me in the message box, whatever the case may be. I'm licensed. We can get you going. We can do your whole family. We can do pistol basics, anything, situational awareness, anything that's covered in there. Even just go to the range. I have some courses where I can just go to the range. I'm a range safety officer also. Take you to the range, man, and just get your handling down before you even have to take the test. And once we do the test, I can also qualify you. You know what I'm saying? And we can go ahead and run the test, do your little testing right there, send it off to the DPS and get you straight. But the main thing is knowing how to handle that firearm efficiently. You know what I'm saying? So don't be out there, man, because these young dudes out here taking, I don't see many of them at the gun range, but I promise you, they know how to tote that steel, or let you have it and take whatever you have if they need be. So Tap in, man, and stay aware of the updates on, what's going to happen with this bill and what what the DOJ is going to do and what they're going to allow the ATF to do. So eligibility, background checks, it's going to all depends on what was prior in your history of what you might have done. So check in, check out your laws, see what's going to go. And I hope this video was definitely informative to you. So if you can, man, hit the subscribe button. After you hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell. That way you can stay updated on what we have, what information I have to offer right here at the PM Lifestyle Podcast. And like I tell you, it's just not about conversation about relationships and things like that. It's about travel, where you want to go, protecting yourself, firearm training, black ownership, businesses, and things like that. So we cover a lot of different things, man. And I promise you, we got the experience, or my hosts, my guests, and different things like that. We'll definitely have something that you can pick up and learn. So share this channel, subscribe, different things like that. And you can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on all these different platforms. You know what I'm saying? And it'll definitely connect you right back to me. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and post all this stuff right here. See all that right there? Yeah. That's all the information you can catch me on, man. So tap in, stay blessed, and also gotta pay the sponsors. Shout out to my boy Sugar Slim, man. If he beats, music, anything that's pertaining to artistry and things like that, intros, outros. You doing a movie? You might need to holler at Sugar Slim. You doing some intros? You doing some podcasts? Holler at my boy Sugar Slim. Sugar Slim can be found on Instagram /Sugar Slim Beats, aka Mr. Blue Check Slim, aka Mr. Blue Check Slim. Check him out, man. Let him know the PM sent you from on tonight. He already know who I am. He already know what I'm doing. So, y'all stay blessed out there. Stay safe, protected, man, and stay prayed up, man.